I'll never forget walking onto my very first cruise ship. It was Royal Caribbean Explorer of the Seas. And I've actually just realised it was 10 years ago now. I went on with my now husband, it was my boyfriend at the time. He'd done a couple more cruises than me, but it was my very first one. I remember walking on board that ship and being in absolute awe of how beautiful it was, like how luxurious it felt. But I remember feeling like really overwhelmed as well, because we got on board and I was like, how do I know what I have to pay for and what costs extra? So before we get into things, if you're new here, hi, I'm Caroline, and along with my husband Mark and my two boys Jackson and Brody, we love to share our cruise travels with you. So if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to see more. Because a cruise isn't like your typical all-inclusive holiday. The types of holidays I had been on before being on a cruise, I would always book all-inclusive, which I knew that all my food was included, and you usually get your drinks, which is like your alcoholic drinks as well. Whereas a cruise is a bit different. And a lot of times cruise lines will label their cruises as all-inclusive, but that doesn't actually necessarily mean that alcoholic drinks are included. So I did find it a wee bit overwhelming at first as to what was included on a Royal Caribbean cruise. So I did promise myself that this year I was going to get into making more YouTube videos. And this is one of the first ones I'm going to start with. And we're going to talk about how to know what's included on a Royal Caribbean ship and what isn't. The best way to do it is actually to download the Royal Caribbean app before you go. Now, before you go, you'll be able to check in on there. You'll be able to have a look and see for excursions that you can pay for, etc. And another thing that I'll start to tell you is the restaurants that you can go to and whether they are paid restaurants or whether they're complimentary restaurants. So when you open up the Royal Caribbean app, there's a little section on it here that says Dine In. Now, when you press Dine In, there's different categories along the top there that you can have a look at. So then it starts to show you the restaurants. So we're about to go on Independence of the Seas again, and there are restaurants like Giovanni's Table, which is an Italian restaurant. What you will notice is that underneath the ones that are a speciality restaurant, this is the ones that you have to pay extra for, there's a little dollar sign. And if you see the dollar sign, that means that it's not included in the price that you've paid for your cruise, and you will have to pay an additional charge. The different restaurants, whichever one you go to, will be a different price dependent. Another speciality restaurant on board Independence of the Seas is called Chops Grill. This is like a steak restaurant, and again, that's an extra charge. We've also got the Izumi Sushi restaurant for an extra charge there as well. There's also more like casual kind of restaurants like Johnny Rockets, for example. This is an American diner experience, and you do have to pay extra for that. We've got Playmakers, Sports Bar and Arcade, where you can get like food like nachos. They usually put like the football games on, the sports, etc. on the big TV screens there. That does cost extra as well. So you can literally just scroll through the app and have a look at the different restaurants that are going to be on board the Royal Caribbean ship that you're on. And like I say, if it is an extra charge, it'll have a little dollar sign beside it. So the main places that you can usually eat on most Royal Caribbean ships is they will have the Windjammer buffet. That is included in the price you pay for your cruise. And they'll have the main dining rooms. Depending on what ship you're on will depend how many main dining rooms there are. And you can eat in there complimentary every single day, as much as you want as well. And another thing to bear in mind will be your drinks on board a cruise ship. So what you will find is that the only drinks that will be included will be at breakfast time in the buffet. There will be tea and coffee, there'll be water, and there'll be some fruit juices. Throughout the day, there'll be a variety of different kind of water, tea, coffee, and juice usually available, which is complimentary. That'll be in the buffet, and that'll be in the main dining rooms there. That will be the only included drinks that you can get. Oh, apart from Sorrento's Pizza, when we were last on board, did usually have little sachets of hot chocolate, which were really nice as well, and those were included. Anything on top of that will cost an extra charge. So whether you want a glass of wine, whether you want a spirit and a mixer, each of them will come with an additional charge. Depending which bar or which restaurant you're ordering in, you'll need to have a look at the drinks menus there to find out the prices. So one thing that you can do on most cruise ships is buy yourself a drinks package before you board. Now, normally, depending on how much you like to drink, these can work out quite cost effective. And there are different drinks packages available. You don't have to just get an alcoholic package. You can usually get different types of packages like soft drinks. There's one for like mocktails, and there's one that includes like alcohol. So it's definitely worth doing your research before you go to find out what are the average kind of like drinks prices. And kind of what we like to do is ask ourselves beforehand, like, how much am I likely to drink in a day? Now, I travel with my husband and my 2 young boys. If you're traveling with kids, you know that they like to drink quite a lot. So for us, 9 times out of 10, we do like to buy a drinks package. Sometimes we only break even on what we've spent, and sometimes we do save like quite a bit of money, depending how much we've paid for that. And that's another thing to bear in mind with your drinks packages, is that prices are fluid. They change all the time. So what a lot of seasoned cruisers do is keep an eye on the drinks price packages in the lead up to going on their cruise. We usually wait till there's like some kind of like flash sale on, and then we'll book our drinks package at that time. For my upcoming cruise on Independence in the Seas, that's exactly what we've done, and we got it at almost half price. So for a family of 4, that usually works out really beneficial for us. Another thing that I will say on the drinks packages, this is like a kind of like hit or miss kind of thing with a lot of people. For us, more than anything, I like the security of knowing that I've got the drinks package. One cruise we did go on, at the time it was just myself and my husband, it was before we had any kids, and we didn't buy a drinks package, and we said to ourselves before we go, do you know what, we're just going to pay as you go, we're going to see if these drinks packages are actually worth it. We got on board the cruise ship on the very first day, and immediately went into, I think we were in Playmakers actually, looked at the bar menu, and I was like, oh, $14 for a glass of wine, oh, this much for a cocktail, oh, and immediately I was holding back because I was thinking, oh, well, that's going to cost so much. That's going to be so much we're spending today. I don't want to go on holiday and feel like that. I don't want to hold back. Not that I'm a massive drinker, but I like just the peace of mind knowing that it's all included. And again, depending which cruise line you go with, have a look and see. Sometimes the drinks packages include things like specialty coffees, for example. Royal Caribbean tends to have Starbucks on board their ships. P&O tends to have Costa Coffee on board their ships. So if you like a coffee in the morning, sometimes that can work out beneficial as well. One thing I really love about Royal Caribbean that they include is soft serve ice cream at their pool area. They're one of the few cruise lines that we've sailed with actually that does include this free ice cream, and I think it's fantastic for the kids. Again, if you're anything like my kids, they love an ice cream. So that's a really great bonus for us that we love, is that the soft serve ice cream is included on a Royal Caribbean cruise. So I know it can be a wee bit confusing and overwhelming at first, but like I say, go onto your Royal Caribbean app, you can do some research beforehand, and that'll give you an idea of the different places that are included and the ones that are an additional cost on your cruise. Now, what tends to happen as well, whilst you're on board your cruise, Royal Caribbean do a thing called a cruise compass. Now, this is like a daily planner, a daily schedule, if you like, of everything that's going on around the ship. So all the activities they've got going on, all the evening entertainment shows that they've going on, the ice shows that they've got going. So it'll tell you which of those are included as well. And most of the entertainment is included on a Royal Caribbean ship, which is fantastic. On that cruise compass as well, it will have a list of the restaurants, their opening times, and again, it'll have that little dollar sign beside it if it's a paid restaurant. If it's not got the dollar sign, you know it's included in your cruise. And another thing, if you are new to cruising or just new to Royal Caribbean or new to any cruise line, do your research beforehand as well. Watch plenty of YouTube videos is exactly what we do. We also love to join like Facebook groups for our particular sailing. So for this one coming up, for example, we just typed into Facebook, we searched for Royal Caribbean, Independence of the Seas and the date that we were going on, and somebody had made a Facebook group for our sailing. Normally these are made by much more like seasoned cruisers, and they make them to give tips to new cruisers so that they can get prepared before they go on their cruise and enjoy it. Like I say, I know it's quite overwhelming. I know that's quite a lot of information. If you've got any particular questions, please just ask away. I'm hoping to do loads more longer form videos like this for YouTube, as well as I do short form content over on TikTok, over on Instagram, and over on Facebook. My name is the same on all the platforms, Caroline the Cruise Lady. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button here so you can see all my longer videos. When we're on a cruise, we tend to do our cruise vlogs. So we'll vlog like the ports that we're getting off at, we'll vlog the restaurants, and we'll upload them here as well as on social media. So please make sure you're following me on over all the channels to make sure you don't miss out on any of those updates. Hope you found this video helpful. Like I say, if you've got any questions, please just ask away.